So Captain Marvel is finally here, and it's just as bland as everyone expected. Never before have we seen a movie shilled to this degree by the left-wing press. What happened with Captain Marvel is even worse than what happened with the 2016 Ghostbusters because it didn't result in this level of faux outrage, fan bashing, or the overt manipulation of social media to try to get the film over. I mean, this is a Marvel film. The chances of it bombing are the same as the chances of Brie Larson giving a stellar performance. It just wasn't going to happen. And it didn't. Captain Marvel pulled in $153 million domestically and $302 million internationally. That's not bad at all. People thinking this movie was going to bomb like Ghostbusters need to understand that the Marvel formula is too good for that. Disney has a built-in guarantee for a solid box office draw because of the previous 20 films all connecting into one massive cinematic universe. People will go to see the next Marvel film expecting more of that world building. The movie could suck massive balls and still pull in $600 million at the end of its run. So it was never going to fail financially. It was never going to be Ghostbusters. It can be The Last Jedi though, and it may very well end up like that because while $153 million ain't anything to brush off, it also ain't the $180 million originally projected for the film. The shills have already taken to the press and social media to clown the so-called trolls saying that the non-existent boycott didn't work, but the numbers don't lie. The film didn't make as much as the studio expected. That's either because there was less hype for this unknown character, because of Brie Larson's mouth actually having a negative impact, because some people decided to sit this one out because of Brie Larson's antics, or some combination of those, and it didn't come close to breaking any records. The $153 million put Captain Marvel at the 18th highest grossing weekend opening, and 7th for the Marvel Studio films. The other issue is that while the film itself isn't unwatchable, it's not that good. It's just meh. Despite the film getting mostly positive scores from critics, the actual reviews call the film flat, boring, generic, by the numbers, typical, unimaginative, disjointed, and generally mediocre. Nobody's watching this film and being overwhelmed. They're walking out whelmed. Very whelmed. And that seems to be the audience consensus, although you wouldn't know that if you went to Rotten Tomatoes. First, they scrubbed the want-to-see audience score, which was in the I wouldn't watch it to cure my child's cancer range, and then lied about what they did, claiming that trolls were putting up false reviews, even though those aren't reviews. Then the actual audience reviews went up, and over the course of 24 hours, Rotten Tomatoes played with those numbers, first scrubbing 50,000 negative reviews they claimed were posted by bots, and then claiming that a glitch allowed the previous deleted want-to-see scores to be counted. This dropped the user ratings from over 54,000 down to about 4,000, leaving a still highly negative number. Then, within a couple of hours of that, 10,000 new reviews popped up, boosting the score, and this continued throughout the day. Tens of thousands of reviews would appear and then disappear, with the disappearing ones having one thing in common. They were negative. Positive reviews, even obvious duplicate reviews, remain. One person even posted a complaint about their 2-star negative review being deleted, but asked if this comment with 5 stars would remain up. As of this recording, it's still there. So there you have Rotten Tomatoes manipulating the user ratings to inflate the number to make it appear that the audience was less critical of the film than they actually were. As of now, the user rating sits at 57%, which is still a dud, unless Rotten Tomato plans on doing what they did with The Last Jedi and marking it as fresh despite the low number. For a film that pulled in $153 million domestically and $302 million in the foreign market, it's weird that it needs this much protection. By the way, you might notice something strange about those Captain Marvel numbers. It's not how high they are, although it is quite bizarre for this movie to play that well in the foreign market. No, it's what's weird about the numbers themselves. Look at them, or more specifically, look at the numbers around them. Let's take this domestic gross. Rogue One pulled in $155,081,681. The Hunger Games pulled in $152,535,747. Captain Marvel pulled in $153 million. Exactly $153 million. The same thing happened with the foreign gross. Captain Marvel pulled in exactly $302 million. So I checked the last big opening, which was How to Train Your Dragon 3. The foreign gross was rounded to the nearest 100,000, giving it $5,200,000. But the domestic was a general number, $55,022,245. The last superhero film was Aquaman, and it got $67,873,522 for the domestic opening. And again, its foreign pool was rounded to the nearest 100,000, giving it $94,200,000. Now, I'm not saying that Box Office Mojo or Disney are forging the numbers, but there is something very weird going on here because the numbers usually are not rounded like this. By itself, I might write this off, but with all the shenanigans that have gone on with this film and the media spin, I'm a little suspicious. The real issue here isn't the money. The issue is the lackluster nature of the film, the poor script, bland acting from Larson, the ham-fisted feminist message, complete with gems like they call it a cockpit for a reason, and the genius revelation of how Nick Fury lost his eye. Spoiler alert, a fucking cat scratched it out. I mean, this is the next phase of the MCU. Captain Mary Sue, because she's never at risk in the film, just dominates everyone in the third act, leading a team of sycophants who have to take to the media to pander their diversity message that proved to be oh so mediocre. You don't have to take my word for it. Go read the reviews. The positive reviews. And that's right. The positive reviews say that the film was a snorefest, but they gave it a high score because, as one critic admitted, they didn't want to give the so-called trolls a win. So at this point, you can't even trust the reviews because if the film turns off some fans but has the so-called right political message, the reviewers will try to hide how terrible the film actually is. Of course, there's a problem. People will see the film and then let other people know it sucked. That's what happened with The Last Jedi. And while that movie got $1 billion in the box office, the follow-up film Solo went oh so low. Now, I don't think Endgame is going to tank. I do think that the follow-up films might have a problem if Marvel and Disney continue pumping out formulaic duds like Captain Marvel. You've used this formula too many times. The audience is now in on it. You're going to have to shake it up, especially since you're losing your big draws. No more Thor, no more Cap, no more Iron Man. These guys are out. You might get away with hiring new actors, but if you try to race and gender swap like you did in the comics, that might not work out that well for you. It's also hinging on who defeats Thanos, because if it's Captain Marvel, you're gonna piss off a lot of people. That's not the payoff they want. So if you were stupid enough to force the directors to change that along with adding Captain Marvel in to begin with, you might lose the audience's goodwill. We'll have to see. In the meantime, let's see how Captain Marvel performs over this weekend, and let's see the genuine audience reaction as people find out about all the silly changes and retcon and boring non-storytelling that apparently is this mediocre blockbuster. If you saw the film, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. And no, I didn't see it and have no intention of seeing it because I don't hate myself. On an unrelated note, I've noticed that my subscriber numbers have dropped to almost non-existent, and despite my videos getting views, the other metrics are insanely low. So if you think you're sub, check to make sure you still are. You might want to unsub and then sub again just to make sure, and click the notification bell and make sure to select see all notifications so that you get everything that I upload.